You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for The Secret Circle. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Secret Circle news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for The Secret Circle.
Hey guys, what's up? It's ABTV for The Secret Circle. I'm Michelle Macedo, and I'm here with my co-host,
David Skiffolitti.
And what's your Twitter? Because I love it.
At You Can Call Me Skiff.
You can call me Skiff.
Yes. That was my nickname all through my schooling years.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I hope it still is, right?
No, now I go by David. I just think no one has caught on to Skiff.
Yeah, okay, now I'm going to do that.
You can call me Skiff.
Now I know, because
you can call me Skiff.
Okay, sounds good.
And what's your Twitter?
Oh, my Twitter is Macedo Music, MACEDOMUSIC. That's how you spell music. Cool.
You don't want to spell your last name, just music for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done it yet, listeners, if there are any of you out there, download Michelle's album. It is amazing.
Thank
this
you,
girl has
Skiff.
pipes for days.
Okay.
I mean, you do. Let's be
thank
honest. You're welcome.
Okay, cool. The Secret Circle.
Secret Circle. That's
So-
what we're here to do.
This is season 1, episode 2, called Bound.
Bound.
So we've only had one episode, one pilot episode, okay? And now it's Bound. And the one thing I think that they expected too much of us by the names. We had no idea who anyone's name is till someone said it.
Yeah, they expected a little too much out of the viewers to have remembered every single character's name, and there are so many characters on this show. And I went on the IMDb page before we started, and they only have 5 people listed.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they don't even have everybody listed in the show. So someone needs to go on their page and update it, or we need to update it, or like something, because it's not complete. And
CW?
it's kind of driving me crazy.
What is with that?
Right?
It's season 1, episode 2. It's no longer
they
season
have
1,
season
episode 1.
3 already up on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, CW. Get your shiznit in order. So, okay, let's start off with the episode, Bound. So we left off the last episode, her reading the letter from her mom, finding the Book of Shadows from her creepy mantle fireplace in her gigantic room.
Which we saw this week was like enormous.
Huge.
It's like a full
She's like a fireplace,
apartment.
an awesome closet, an awesome giant bathroom. It
20
is an
feet
apartment.
between the fireplace and her bed.
Yeah, definitely. And just what seems like a really awesome setup.
Sweet setup.
Yeah. So she was reading the letter from her mom. Her mom was saying how she's sorry that she has to live this life, and it sucks, but it's just destiny. It's the way it's supposed to be. She wishes she could protect her, blah, blah, blah. Right?
In a nutshell.
Right.
And she also tells her, I think, which is important, that she can't trust anybody. And that her power is the only thing that can keep her safe.
That's important to remember.
It is, I think.
I think, yeah, that is, because I just said blah, blah, blah when that was important to remember.
Yeah. I mean, it's an important thing for Cassie to keep in mind.
She doesn't trust anyone anyway.
She doesn't.
But still.
But still.
She's pretty I don't think she's pretty skeptical is what I think so far. What do you think?
I think she's figuring things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still.
She's figuring a lot of things out, like
I mean, she's
how to do light, how to give me light.
give me light. She's testing her magic and her powers and seeing how much she can control. And we see
Obviously,
her.
she's believing it. She's looking through the Book of Shadows. She's watching all these creepy photos. I mean, yeah, with creepy photos, creepy drawings. Cool, though. Skiff and I wish that we were her. But
Just a little bit.
yeah.
I mean, every teenager dreamed about having magic powers.
I know.
And there are some adults out there still dreaming about having magic powers.
Yeah, totally. Because I do.
I do too. I don't
Obviously.
consider myself an adult yet, but
No, me neither.
I
We're still
do.
teenagers.
Still a teenager. I mean, seriously.
Cool.
I would kill for magic powers.
Yeah. What would your power be? What power would you want? If you could only have one.
Oh. I always really liked Prue Halliwell's power from
Oh, yeah.
Charmed, the power to move
Love
things with her
Charmed.
mind.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was always one of my favorite powers. I think I would
I-
want that.
I loved Piper's ability to freeze.
Really?
Yes. Because, I was thinking about how many tests that I could just have frozen.
I know.
And like, let me think about this. Okay. I'm going to
But
use the answer.
the problem, time is still moved, except everyone would freeze. But in your everyday life, how would the ability to freeze things help you out? It wouldn't. But if you could move things with your mind,
right.
that would be
I
awesome.
see. I
There
see.
would never be traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about the premonition one.
Premonitions kind of suck.
Oh, there would never be traffic. Like you'd
You
move
could
all
just
the
move
cars.
all the cars out
Get
of the
out.
way. I'd never have to worry about traffic. Never have to worry about a red light. I would never have to get out of bed to turn the lights off or on.
See, that's one of the big ones.
I could turn the water on in the shower.
It's definitely
before
the
I got
everyday
out of bed.
thing. Yeah, moving things I think is one of those everyday.
It's pretty awesome.
That would be the best one for everyday.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think so.
For tests, it would be the freezing one.
Yeah.
Premonitions, I wouldn't want that. That would be awful.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to know what happened in the future.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is going on in the booth over there, Jesse?
DJ Jesse Janity here.
In the
people.
booth.
Yo.
He's just going a little crazy.
I would also want Prue Halliwell's
Right?
powers.
She had the best ones.
She had the
Well,
best- she
actually,
did.
no. You know who I would really want?
Paige.
No, Alex Mack.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
to turn
His-
into Capri Sun.
I would want to turn. Absolutely, I would want to be able to turn into Capri Sun, and she had the power to move things.
Yeah, she had a pretty.
Oh.
She had
I
a pretty
forgot
good.
about Alex Mack. 'Cause
So
that show
long
was
ago.
so long ago.
I know.
And then that girl just disappeared.
Then she was in like
10 Things I Hate About You. And then that was it.
That was the last thing I remember of her.
Me too.
What happened to her?
I don't know. Let's get back to Secret Circle, though.
Right.
A
good
lot of
call.
things happened tonight.
A lot of things. So then we go to the next scene where the dude with no shirt,
Nick
Nick,
and Melissa are in bed. They just hooked up. They had a clandestine meeting.
he gets up from bed. She wants to hug him or something of the sort, and he says something like, "Get off me."
Well, she wants to keep it a secret. She doesn't want like anyone to know about them hooking up. And he's like, well, why would I brag about sleeping with you?
And then you could see her spirit get crushed.
Totally crushed.
As
She
that
was like, I
happens.
like you, blonde man.
And then finally, she's like, "You're an ass." But
You're an
obviously, he didn't care. But I really wish that I wish at that point, I feel like I would light him on fire. That, like,
I don't think Melissa is that type of girl. I think she's easily pushed around
Yeah.
by the head honchos in their little circle, especially
Definitely.
Faye. She's very
Especially
easily
Faye.
swayed.
Yeah.
But I think she's a lot nicer of a person than she lets on to be.
Yeah, totally.
And she's a lot more sensitive.
I think she just goes with what Faye wants
I do
for her.
agree with that.
Because she's like, Faye, I do. Faye wants her to be her little minion and wants her to be whatever.
Right.
And Faye can protect her. So,
In
whatever.
theory,
Right?
best line of the show. Nick turns around and is just staring out the window shirtless again. We cut to Cassie and she's like waving at him and mumbles under her breath, "Do you even own a shirt?"
which is exactly what we all were asking.
Everyone was thinking it.
Thank you, Cassie. And then she's like, what did she say? Close.
She wanted to close the curtains.
She wanted to close the curtains.
Yeah.
His window broke.
And the window slammed shut.
And
Because she wanted to light a candle and like the sun came up.
yeah.
She has no control over her powers.
Said, give me light. And then the sun. And then she said, what did she say?
And then the sun.
The sun. And then she said, close. There's a window.
And then the window shut.
Well, you should stop creepily staring at her without her shirt. I mean, like.
Or be like a friendly neighbor and wave back.
Yeah, wave. Yeah.
She like waved at you. Don't just stand there.
Yeah. Being creepy.
Being creepy.
It's creepy when when you're kind of undressed. Anything is creepy when you're kind of not dressed all the way. That's not.
We won't get into that.
No. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so then she books it out of there, out of her room. Like, I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Then we go to Faye with her little. Go ahead.
You go ahead. I want to know what you're thinking.
Oh, Faye with her little hoe bag shirt.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Oh, yeah.
I sort of brushed that scene like it was completely unimportant to me.
Right. And
but the only important thing,
her grandfather,
Grandpa Henry,
yes,
is
shows
back
up.
and seems like he's suspicious of something, but we don't know. I mean, we find out later why he's suspicious, and his suspicions are actually true. But
he seems evil. He seems like he's not good from the minute he comes in.
Really? You didn't think that he was a good guy?
No. From the beginning, only because he's related to Faye. I kind of figure that they're... And plus, her mom, the Principal
Chamberlain,
is also weird, so I guess I just assumed that they were all weird. Because the grandpa was coming at this time.
I felt like... I see where you're coming from, because Faye is a bad seed and her mother's clearly a bad seed as well. I just feel like since he's not directly related to Principal Chamberlain, that's his daughter-in-law, that he might be a better person. He might be on the good side.
Right, so he's the father of Faye's dad.
Who is deceased.
Mm-hmm. And we still don't know the whole story about that.
But we got a little bit more insight tonight.
Yes, we did.
They were partying on a boat. We'll just cut right to that.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Partying on a boat, and a fire started, and some people died.
They said that is what they told the police.
Right.
As far as anybody knows, or the police knows, that's exactly what happened.
What Diana thinks, and what their circle thinks, is that they didn't bind their circle, and so someone's powers must have got out of hand, or someone's emotions must have got out of hand, and a fire started, which we see Cassie doing a lot in this episode. She can't control her emotions, so her magic sort of...
Especially since Faye is like prodding at her.
Yeah.
For example, in chemistry class, along with many other scenes.
She just pushes her buttons.
Faye tries to push her buttons, and Cassie gets mad, and something explodes. And Faye tries to start a storm, and Cassie wants things to explode. And she just gets mad. And it was interesting because on the boat, they're talking about fires and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it seems like every time that Faye and Cassie get together, something happens with fires.
Right.
So I don't know about that. But I do know that they have the lamest fair ever.
The lamest town fair in history.
It was a farmer's market.
It was. I thought it was a farmer's market.
That's what I thought too.
And it seems like because Cassie's the new girl and everyone is so friendly in this school in Washington State, that she is getting invited left and right to go places by people. I mean,
Sally especially.
Sally, the class president, is like, come to the fair and help me sell tickets for the raffle.
And Cassie's like, okay, that's exactly what I need. I would be like, I'm going to go home. I'll see you guys later.
I think I'll come and I'll have some of the fresh popcorn. Because that's the only thing that they had at the fair, that and ring toss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in which they had a competition. And I guess they got a bunch of stuffed animals, probably, out of that.
The important thing about that scene was Faye and Melissa were doing the ring toss, and they weren't even paying attention to the ring toss. They were just staring at each other. Mm-hmm. And the rings were landing in the sticks. And while all that was happening, Henry was witnessing it. So he's seeing that magic is happening, which he's already worried about. He wants to know if there's magic happening, who's doing it, is anyone noticing it. He came into town because Adam's dad, Ethan, called him the night before because Charles had performed some sort of magic on him. And we find out in this episode that the older generation, the grandparents, had bound all the parents' magic and stripped them of their powers. So he's confused as to how anyone can be performing magic if no one knows about it.
Yeah, and no one has powers, and no one has said anything. And as we find out and continue to find out, Diana's dad and Faye's mom are both in this little plot together, and they have a crystal. And the crystal is the reason why their powers are working.
Right.
Or they have some energy, but it could run out.
That's what I was confused about.
Yeah.
Like, did they possibly store power in the crystal? Because the younger generation doesn't seem to need any charms or anything like that to perform magic. They just have their energy. But it seems like the parents' generation all had crystals.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking that there was like family crystals, and it was the backup crystal. I don't know. That had something in it.
You know, if anyone out there has any insight, you can call us here at 424-256-1729.
Please
and
call
maybe
in.
you can let us know what you think.
If you know about why.
If you know anything about witchcraft.
Yeah, I know with crystals. Love them. Yeah, but don't know about these parents and why they have to just use this crystal. If their powers have been stripped, then wouldn't that mean that they couldn't use it at all, no matter what it was coming from?
I mean, I guess if they've stored the energy inside the crystal and they're holding the crystal, they can sort of channel it. I mean, clearly they can, but it's a little confusing for me.
It's
at least, to say the least.
It is. And Henry gets upset and comes home, and then there's a little squabble between Principal Chamberlain,
yes,
and Henry, his daughter-in-law. So, and they talk about how she says it was wrong that you took our powers away. He says, how do they know about this? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, they don't know about this. But it would be sad if you had a heart attack, because he threatened to go and tell everyone else about it.
He was going to tell the elders about what was going on.
So then the elders could come in and, I don't know,
I guess strip them of their powers as well.
Yeah. Don't do that. Obviously, no, bad idea. What you're supposed to do is be like, tell them about it, and then be like, this is what happened. Everybody died on this boat because we were stupid.
Right.
Not like, let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about
anything.
That's
always worked.
Well, clearly, Charles, the generation of Charles, the parents' generation, there's part of them that want to bring their powers back. And that's what I think that they were talking about in the pilot episode, how Charles was like, do you think she has the ability to do what we need her to do? And Principal Chamberlain was saying how we don't need to worry about that. The circle will take care of that.
Didn't even put that together.
Yes. So I think they want the circle to bind their powers, which is the main theme throughout this episode, so that they can get their powers back. Because had they not bound their circle, the parents, they wouldn't, if they weren't all together and they got their powers back, their powers wouldn't work anymore. So since their circle wasn't bound, and they could have individual powers.
Yeah. Yes.
I just spoke in a big...
I got it. I think I got it. I
circle.
think I was following you. In a big circle.
Yeah.
That you should... A secret one.
That's a secret one. That's a secret.
So then she gives that Henry a heart attack.
Yeah.
And she just goes all the way with that. And that's how we know. At first, I'm like, okay, she's taking the crystal away from Charles because Charles is getting out of hand and hurting people with it. and that's not cool. And then I think, okay, she's got it under control. She's a mom. So moms always do the right thing.
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
When they have other intentions.
Yeah. And so she was like, you're not going to tell anyone because you're going to die.
Well, I think if she takes the crystal away from Charles because Charles is getting out of hand with it, and she doesn't want anyone to know what their plan is. And this is just one more person who's standing in her way.
Yeah.
Is Henry. So she has to get rid of him. I don't know if she necessarily at this time has bad intentions. I mean, she clearly does, but
she obviously
with
will
the crystal,
go to any length.
Yes, to get her
stop
power back.
anyone from knowing.
Yeah.
Yes. Meanwhile,
yes.
Cassie and Adam, whose name we did not know until the end of the episode, even though we knew them last week, but we did not remember till the end of the episode when someone finally said it.
When Diana said it right towards the end.
Yes. And Diana is totally his Jafizzle, GF girlfriend. But Adam and Cassie are hanging out, and then he uses all these excuses about how they're testing their powers and they really need to do that, blah, blah, blah. So then he gets to a light bulb, and he teaches her how to activate the light bulb.
Well, he's teaching her how to focus her energy so that she can sort of control her powers a little bit better. And I think it was just another example of what they can do.
Yeah.
He unplugs the wires from a light.
In their secret little abandoned house.
In their abandoned house, which is now a grow house as well. Which is so not safe.
No.
In an abandoned house.
And the lights, with
the wires and the electricity.
It's old wood. Come on, guys.
Something's going to catch fire.
Trees.
Eventually. But he shows her how to turn on a light bulb while holding a battery. In essence.
Yeah.
And harness the energy flowing through her body.
And then he explains, because it lights up, explains that it's going through
from the battery through her, through him to the light bulb. And then he wants her to do it on her own.
And then he's like, look at me, breathe. So
She
it
gets all
really
sexy,
intense.
Right? She was making sex noises, kind of, right?
Yeah, she was. She was total.
It was like some heavy.
It was intense.
Breathing.
It was intense. That's exactly what it sounded like. That's a really good impression.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the light bulb explodes.
Which
because of all the sexual tension.
Exactly. Even the light bulb's exploding with that. And then she books it.
As she does a lot, we see she loves
running,
have conversations, and then just run.
Exactly. She should join the track team.
She should.
She's constantly practicing.
She's probably, really fast.
She's probably really fast.
She could probably do long distance running.
Exactly. In a mini skirt for sure.
And heels.
Yeah. Through all of the grass and
shrubbery.
Whatnot. Shrubbery is totally the correct word.
Thanks.
Yeah. So she runs away from that. Then I think what we forgot to go over earlier was that Faye and dude without a shirt, Nick, made a potion.
Well, that's at the fair. That came all after the light.
Okay, that came after the light.
Yeah, so they go to the fair, and Faye has been throughout the whole episode not wanting to bind their circle because she doesn't want to be held back. She enjoys having individual power. She doesn't want to have a group power because then
other people can control her.
Right. What they say is that their power gets strengthened as a group, but their individual powers weaken. And she doesn't want to be held back by anybody. She likes having individual powers. She enjoys it. And it kind of turns her on. I'm just going to say all these synonyms for the same word.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Faye is like that.
Don't judge me.
Yes. So.
At the fair, they're continuing on. Diana's on Cassie's case about binding the circle, binding the circle. We don't want anyone to get hurt. We can't control our powers. With you here, our powers are limitless and our energy is just flowing through the air and we can't harness it properly.
Mm-hmm. And all they have to do, all they have to do is get in a fight or get a little angry at each other, and then everyone around them gets hurt.
Everyone gets affected by it.
Yeah. They don't know what's going on.
They have no idea how to control their powers. I mean, we see later on, we saw them make that potion, Nick and Faye at the fair, take this potion. We have no idea what it did, if it did anything.
It didn't seem
like it did anything to me. Unless it was like an aphrodisiac. And that's why they were acting like that.
But which Faye didn't need that anyway.
No, she does not.
She's
and neither does Nick.
Neither does Nick.
In that respect.
Yeah. Just the two people that just wouldn't need that.
They took a potion, didn't explain to us what and why they did it.
Made Melissa feel bad.
It made Melissa feel like shit.
They don't notice that.
They don't notice that.
They're such horn dogs. That's why.
But we see Faye and Cassie get into another argument.
Well, let's see. How does it start off? They're on the dock. And Faye this entire time has been trying to grab Cassie, get at her, and push her buttons, and has been wanting her to, just trying to piss her off, seemingly, and not bind the circle. So how does it start there? Faye is like partying. They're obviously dancing on the dock like people do.
At a fair.
Exactly, at a fair. They're all dancing. There's a red Solo cup, so obviously
there's been
drinking involved.
And then Cassie walks up, and Faye walks up to her and is like, "Let's do some magic. Let's make another storm."
Yeah.
And Cassie's like, "Stop!" And the lights flicker.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Ooh, you did that. Let's do it. Come on, let's do
exactly.
it." And then the storm starts happening.
That's what Faye wants.
And that's exactly what Faye wants. And then a chair flies up to Faye.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "Is that all you got?"
I know. Oh, Faye.
And then Sally, the class president,
no,
comes up.
Poor
again.
Sally. She had no idea.
Sally.
Sally just wants to sell tickets and help out with the fair.
She just wants to sell tickets.
And she wants to be hospitable to the new girl. That's all she wants. She doesn't know.
She's such a loser.
What's going on? Oh, no. Such a loser.
Right? She's class president.
She's like trying to defend
she's like,
Cassie.
Let's sell some raffle tickets, Cassie.
No, Faye, you stop.
That's exactly how I feel.
But it's,
That
Poor
Sally. And then
Sally.
Faye, they're like she's fighting with Sally, and then Faye is like, "No, you go away." And Sally goes flying off the docks.
breaks the fence off the dock.
Breaks the fence, lands on a whole bunch of rocks.
I know. Way to go, Faye.
And dies.
It basically dies. I really didn't expect the episode to take this turn.
Neither did I.
At all.
Because they're on a dock. I thought there was water.
And now it's like pretty much almost at the end of the episode. It seemed like it was pretty far into the episode.
It was.
And for something like that to happen, but it happened.
It
fell on the rocks.
Happen. Is dead. Principal
It's
Chamberlain.
impossible. Sally, the class president, is dead. Faye killed her. Faye killed the class president.
She did.
Oh, man. She did.
She definitely did. And then Principal Chamberlain brings her back to life with the crystal, which is why Henry is so sure that the parents have their magic back.
Yeah. And doesn't Henry see her heal?
Yes.
How did everyone get there? Because it was a fair, right?
What do you mean?
How did Principal Chamberlain and Henry all suddenly came?
It was a fair. Everyone's there.
Okay. Right, because they're dancing at the fair.
They're dancing at the fair. There's cotton candy to be had.
Obviously.
Principal Chamberlain is looking at necklaces.
He's
crafts.
He's got to get some of those for his elders, his old people.
You know, there's stuff to be purchased.
Exactly.
Zucchini.
Yeah, probably.
Some spinach.
Yeah, you can probably get some rings.
Yams.
Gotta look for those next time. These are farmers markets.
That's what I'm saying.
Apparently, there's no carousel. There's no anything.
There's nothing fun at a fair.
Nothing fun.
Not at this fair, at least.
So everybody sees it, basically. And good thing Principal Chamberlain went and saved this girl's life, but not necessarily because she wanted to save a girl's life, because it was Faye's fault.
Right.
Which, of course,
well,
should
I
have seen
think
coming.
she did want to save her so that no one would be suspicious of how she landed on the rocks. And I mean, maybe it is her daughter. She would do anything for Faye and to keep Faye out of
And it doesn't
harm.
make sense because that girl really flew off that dock into the rocks.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to spin that.
I know. I don't. Yeah, seriously. Well, I guess they all have something to say to the police. Faye looked like she obviously didn't mean to have that happen.
For
It
once,
looked like she felt bad.
Yeah, we see Faye feeling remorse, which is nice to see that Faye has some sort of human emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
But at the same time, she doesn't know that her mom did that, right?
I don't think she knows that her mom brought her back to life, but it did scare her.
Yeah. Yeah. And someone came up, Diana or Cassie or someone was like,
It was Diana.
she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It turns out she's going to be okay. But still, dude, Faye, don't do that. You can't do that.
I mean,
you can't kill
is
class presidents.
It
You can't do that.
Can't kill anybody. Let's
You
just
can't,
put
don't
that out
try
there.
not to kill anyone.
Let's try and not kill anybody
Yeah.
again. Enough people are dying as it is.
Seriously.
But it does give Faye the extra push to want to bind the circle. And
Yeah.
Cassie finally comes aboard and is like, all right, we clearly have no control. We have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea who we're going to hurt.
Yeah. They can't just leave it out of control like this.
We need to, she says, I don't want to be bound to you any more than you want to be bound to me. But clearly it is the only option that we have.
Yeah. And I guess you can't choose your circles, which sucks because they've all slept with each other / hate each other.
Well, not Cassie, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet is the operative word.
She's already.
She's well on her way to breaking things up.
Yes.
But like her mother says, you can't run away from destiny in the letter.
Very true, Mom.
And even Ethan, Adam's dad, tells her that.
Yeah.
That it's written in the stars.
And he tells her that he was really into her mom.
Super
really,
creepy.
really into her mom.
I think he told her that because if you saw her face afterwards, he told her what he felt when he was around her mother.
Yeah.
And he told her that, and you could see in her face that she feels the same way about Adam.
Yeah.
And every time they're together, something happens. That we saw later on in the car, Adam picks her up on the way to the beach when they're bending the circle. And
At midnight.
at midnight.
Bonfire.
That's when the witching hour is.
Exactly.
She gets in the car and the street lamp explodes. I mean, their energy
Right
together is just...
She was walking. She
so
didn't want to get in the
monumental.
car. Yeah, she didn't want to get in the car.
She doesn't want to ride. She's going to walk the 2 miles
Exactly. Well,
and be 4 hours late.
I know. I'm like, if you guys are both at the same place, he's in a car, you're walking, you're going to be
Just
late,
get in
girl.
the car.
Just get in the car.
Right.
I was like, she's like, it's a nice night. Go get in the car.
I'd be like, it's late.
I know, you
I'll
got to
take
get
the
up.
ride.
Exactly. But the previous scene right before that,
Mhm.
Diana starts to feel insecure because obviously Faye was talking about how, okay, obviously Cassie and Adam have a thing.
And
Something's
there's
going on.
definitely a spark there that everyone's a little
Definitely.
too aware of.
Come on. And Diana is saying she has so much faith.
She really does.
She's
a
just
little,
so trusting.
A little naive, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
To be the leader of their group, I think she still has her head in the clouds, just a hair.
Yeah, definitely not thinking about that boyfriend of hers that's
No.
going off with the new pretty blonde girl.
And she's so convinced that once they bind their powers, that they're going to be able to harness them for good or for whatever they want to do. But
Everything will be better.
Everything's going to be better. But if she doesn't know anything about magic, and none of them know anything about magic, how do they know that binding their powers together is going to be better than leaving them as individual powers?
Right. And
because they don't. They
She
have to
doesn't.
take a leap of faith and just hope that it's going to be better.
well, and she was the last person. She was the only one that seemed like she knew what she was doing. And then she was like, I actually have no idea what I'm
Right?
doing. But I'm like, yeah, you do. You dyed your hair. You dyed your hair from like auburn to brown.
To brown.
But you don't know how to do anything with this circle, which everyone's making a big deal about them being bound.
Yeah.
Some people want it, some people don't. We don't know if it's evil. We don't know if it's good.
We have no idea what's going to happen to their powers.
They went on their little bonfire.
And they did not get naked,
They
unfortunately.
But I'm sure they filmed a version of it. It's probably the
An
unedited
unrated version.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they get nude and just danced under the stars.
That must be what that gotta be what happened.
We'll have to ask Erin
Oh, definitely.
and see what she says.
Oh, is she gonna call in? No.
No, not this week. But they do call all the elements, which some of them I did not know were elements. Because usually when you talk about magic, you talk about 3 points. And they're talking about 6.
Yeah, from the pentagram.
Yeah. So they have fire, earth, air, metal, blood, and water. So usually
it's spirit.
right.
Yeah, but I guess it's
To be different, they're going with blood.
yeah. I think it's to be like a little creepy.
And is metal an element? I mean, I guess, right? Aluminum is an element.
Yeah, it is. Wait, say all of it again. Say
Fire, earth, water, air, metal, and blood.
Go planet.
Captain Planet.
Keep your comments to yourself. I'm just kidding.
You want to see some real magic?
I do.
Captain Planet.
Go ahead. Continue your show.
Oh my God, he turned off.
Oh my God. Turn off the
power
mic.
of technology.
That is real magic.
That is real magic.
Yeah, very much.
That's right. He turned off my mic for
He is in control.
He is in control.
Obviously,
I know.
he's in control of this.
He doesn't know that I'll just run in there and take over the booth.
That is totally possible too. You also have magic in that way.
I do.
I also have the magic of a lock on my door.
Damn it.
Damn.
In that case, we don't have a lot of magic. We have a couch.
We got a couch. We got a nice new leather couch in here.
Yeah, and we have nice AfterBuzz mugs.
We do. So they bind the circle.
Yeah.
There's a big fire. They have a small
Explosion.
bonfire, and then it becomes an explosive
big fire.
bonfire
And
that nobody notices.
Nobody notices. And
And then that's it, right?
that's totally it.
Episode ends.
That's it. And then that's it.
Did we miss anything from this episode?
I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I wrote it all down. I don't think we missed anything.
No.
Book of Shadows.
Book of Shadows. The only thing that I did write down is when Grandpa Henry and Principal Chamberlain are talking is that he was saying that there was a time and there was a place for magic, and it doesn't belong in this world anymore.
Oh, yeah. It never belonged in this world. Belonged.
Well, you never know.
Well, but it did, except for everyone was like exactly how he thinks. Obviously, everything that's in this world belongs in this world because it's in this world.
Right.
But like, Salem witch trials, whatever, or, Christianity and paganism, how everyone was like, get away, paganism, you're evil.
Right.
Obviously, it's like no one's ever been okay with it. I mean, not ever, but I'm saying like in the history, Western history as we know it, usually people condone that stuff. People don't like it.
Right. Because there's always negative undertones when it comes to magic.
Yeah.
And clearly in the past, in this town, people haven't always been so forthright with their magic, and they haven't been very good about controlling it.
Yeah.
And clearly the previous generation, the parents' generation, got a little bit out of control.
Yeah. So now it
we'll
should.
have to wait and see.
So then they strip the powers, and that doesn't work. Everything that it's in the stars.
It's in the stars, but
They'll find a way.
also he did say that this circle was different.
Who, Henry said that?
Yeah, he said to Principal Chamberlain that this circle
Oh.
was different. and that if they bind their powers, something was going to happen.
See, and we don't know what side he's on, right?
We don't. We have no idea if he's good or if he's bad.
We know he doesn't want them to get hurt, obviously. And
Right.
his son totally died.
Right.
So he'd be against anything having to do with the powers, but I can't imagine that it would be smarter to have them not be bound if they had powers.
Who knows?
All right. Let's think about this while we go to commercial break.
Okay.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Hey guys, welcome back.
What were you laughing about? I think we all would love to know at home.
We were just having a little conversation about Charmed.
Yeah.
What about Charmed? Because I'm sure anyone who loves the show would love Charmed. It's like the Buffy to our Vampire Diaries.
It is.
It
And you know what?
is.
Actually, in this episode of Secret Circle, they were talking about how magic is seductive. And it totally reminded me of when Willow went off the bandwagon with her magic in Buffy. Season, 6?
Yes.
And she went evil. And how the magic for her was seductive and it like drew her in. And the more and more she did, the more and more she wanted to do. And they were talking about that a lot in this episode.
Well, it's power.
It is power.
And power becomes almost like an addiction to most people.
Right.
when
But
they
on
don't know how to use it.
Charmed, they never talked about the magic being seductive and the magic taking
Yeah, it
over
wasn't
you.
sexual.
Well, because the thing with Charm, though, was that it was the 3 girls, and when they found their power, it was never about them having the power. And actually, remember when they went into the alternate universe and like Piper was bad?
yeah.
Yes.
They did have that tension, but because they went into it, the 3 of them having to work together for the ultimate power, none of them could really stray off because the only way for them to individually become stronger was for the 3 of them to work together.
The bind of 3. What is it called? The
Power
power
of
of 3.
We'll set you free.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started.
Wait,
okay.
I know this is so special segment. My mom used to have a Bible. This is really bad. Oh, Jesus.
She's going to kill you.
She is. My mother used to have a Bible that literally looked like Jesus wrote this Bible. Like, it was so big.
That's
and thick.
creepy.
And I used to pretend it was the book from Charmed.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And I kind of used to get freaked out by it but
You
whatever.
are totally going to hell.
Oh my
Totally.
God. Totally. I'm totally going to. Girl. I wonder what your mom would think of that.
Well, luckily she's not listening to this podcast.
Oh man.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
my God.
My sister and I, we did a lot of things. We looked up all this stuff, all these potions, all that sort of stuff, meditations, because our family is of the Eastern persuasion,
From?
India,
Okay.
and so my cousin taught me a lot of stuff about energy and stuff like that because they actually that's like a real thing.
Right.
Over there.
I mean, it's a real thing everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, so my question for you guys is this real? Like, do you believe magic is real? Do you think that there are people out there who could, and when I say magic, it's about the energy.
Yeah, I think energy is so powerful. I think that if we actually can focus and harness and really focus our minds to it, that we could do anything. Like there's those crazy monks that like fly. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, you have to see it. Well, they don't fly, but they like weirdly jump. It's crazy. But anyway, I feel
they jump really high. They don't fly.
They should be in the NBA.
But they jump.
But they jump with their legs
wicked
crossed.
high.
You guys, I have to show you this.
They jump with their legs crossed.
Yes. It's so
That's crazy.
weird, but it's like out of meditation. And obviously, I think that with enough, if you can focus it and really spend all that time in it, I think that you could do pretty much anything.
I mean, I believe in like the power of energy, and there are energy healers out there who do some incredibly amazing things that you would never expect anyone to be able to do. And I think with enough concentration, and I mean the power of the human mind and just harnessing any type of energy is limitless, I think.
Yeah.
But as far as magic goes, I don't really believe in magic.
Yeah. Well, what are we magic is like, I'm thinking it's like the same.
I mean, this to me.
No, I mean, to me, magic is like what the Halliwell sisters did and what Willow did on Buffy and like what Alec Mack did. And, like,
you mean
that type
Capri
of magic?
Sun?
Like Capri Sun, the craft, like that type of magic.
Yeah.
When I think of like energy and spiritual healers and things like that, I don't really consider that magic.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't think that it's that what's on TV happens.
I mean, but who knows? Right? I mean,
they say we only use a certain amount of our brain, right?
Right,
They
and
do.
maybe if we did use the entire capacity of our brains, we could float while crossing our legs.
So does what's his name? Chris Angel or something?
Chris Angel is an illusionist.
Oh, who's the one? Blake something? David Blake?
David Blaine.
David Blaine. That's
Is
also
he an illusionist
Yeah,
too?
that's all the power of illusion.
It looks like they can levitate.
I know, but it's all illusions. I mean, they do consider themselves magicians, and you can go to the magic castle and see quote unquote magic, and they are magicians. But magician, I think, just has the connotation that it is all an illusion.
Yes, totally. I think that a lot of crazy things can happen.
David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear, right?
Yeah.
Many moons ago, but that's,
Yeah, Houdini. All these people. There's some crazy magicians out there.
Yeah.
Very different from this kind of magic.
Very different.
And I believe in evil stuff, evil energy and stuff. Well, people putting hexes. I mean, that's the same thing as energy.
I do too.
If just putting negative energy on someone,
yeah,
I think that can really affect it too.
Yeah, I think the power of energy, whether good or bad, is stronger than people think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely. But if any of those magicians ever met a Cassie Blake, they would shit their pants.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I think anyone would shit their pants.
Yeah, you guys, I don't think that any of us should even wear pants if we're meeting her.
Just in case we meet her.
Yeah.
No pants.
No pants.
Just bottomless.
Very, very forward of you, but
hey, you never know where things could go.
Exactly. So predictions.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So they showed us a little bit of next week's episode.
A little preview.
A little preview.
And what I like about this show, we'll see if they do it again next week, is that they started off this week's episode where last week's episode ended.
Yeah, that was
in
good.
the same
That's
place.
helpful.
It's very helpful. So I'm hoping that they're going to start off with them binding the circle again. Just because it helps remind you of what actually happened and brings you back into the storyline. And we see that their power has disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Faye is the one who's most concerned, clearly, because she was concerned with binding the circle to begin with.
Really didn't want to.
And her power is gone, and she's freaking out.
Yeah. I think that probably if their power disappears, especially since Faye was so against it, and it was supposed to harness their power.
Right.
And the fact is, nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Right, and there's apparently someone trying to kill them.
Yeah, following
I think
them around.
Some creepy man with a knife.
Yeah, yes.
Could this
I don't know
possibly
who that
be what Henry was afraid of? Is it they bound their circle and now there's an even more powerful evil source trying to
Could
get
it possibly
rid of them?
be like one of maybe Diana's dad?
Maybe.
Diana's dad killed Cassie's mom.
It was not Diana's dad. This guy had long, creepy hair.
In a mask.
He wasn't. I did not have a mask on.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Oh.
If it was Diana's dad,
Diana's
then he
dad
would be
in a mask.
disguised.
He's glamored himself.
Exactly.
If you will.
If they really did the makeup up. So I don't know.
Not that type of glamour.
Oh, yes.
The other type of glamour.
Yeah, totally.
Where you change something about yourself.
In the craft.
In the craft, they do glamours. They did do glamours on Charmed as well.
Oh, they did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
They did a glamour towards the end when Paige came into play, when Prue died. They did a glamour to hide themselves so that they could lead normal lives again. They became different women. No? You don't remember that?
No, but...
That was also the season when the blonde chick from 8 Simple Rules came on.
I know that. I also know that I got really sad about Prue not being there anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of broke my heart a little bit. But
anyway, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. It looks like the kids are getting a little bit... I think they've bitten off a little bit more than they can chew.
Do you think that they've lost their powers?
I think someone has stripped them of their powers. Or maybe it's either someone's taken their powers away because of the energy that they created. Someone else has clearly been notified that there's a new circle in town. And if they're as powerful as Henry thinks they are, it has to be someone trying to take away their powers for themselves.
Yeah. I think that probably next episode is going to reveal a lot about the big secret that happened with the parents.
Think so.
Which
would be good because we're a little in the dark.
Yeah, seriously. We know what the police know, but come on, guys.
We need a little bit more.
Exactly.
At least give us like a flashback.
I know.
Or something.
Little flashbacks, you know?
Just let the audience know. The kids don't need to know.
Exactly. I know.
But we should know.
We should know a little more than the kids know.
Right?
Come on now.
It would have been nice had the series started with that.
Yeah, actually, that would have been good. How does the series started with her mom dying?
Yeah. Instead of her mom dying, it would have been better if we saw
everyone else.
What happened as teenagers.
Yeah, exactly.
If they were teenagers when they died, how did they have kids?
Were they teenagers when they died?
I don't know.
Did they already have kids? Well, obviously they already had kids by the time they died. These are all good questions that we will find out next week, I think.
I think too.
And so those are my predictions.
Crossed.
Keep your fingers crossed. Perhaps there'll be a guest starring role for Alyssa Milano.
Hey,
who knows?
You never know.
That would be a good idea.
Or Shannon Doherty.
Yeah. We know that. I think that ended it on a bad note on Charmed with that network, I think. But yeah.
It's the same network.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying, like, would they let her back on?
I don't think so.
So maybe Piper.
She's on ABC Family now.
Oh.
And Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, wow. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. This is your hosts, Michelle Macedo and
David Skiffolitti.
You can call me Skiff. This is Twitter. Mine is Macedo Music. Go type that shit in on iTunes and just buy it.
Just buy it.
Please. Just buy it. So I can eat.
You won't regret it.
You so won't. Okay, cool.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.